You give me, for the purposes of sinking, give me a you're an angel witch, you're an angel witch.
No.
You give me a couple C in hell, my friends.
Jesus. I actually can't think of how the melody goes. I haven't listened to that one a whole lot since the other day we were talking about that.
See you in hell, my friend.
If I remember to, I'll prepare it for next time.
I have it on vinyl right over there if you need it.
I don't need it on vinyl. It's on every service possible.
I got it discounted because there's a hole punch through.
Ooh. Okay.
It's a shame when that guy died. He could still kind of go.
Oh, I didn't know he died. I know nothing about them other than I was listening to them for a while that day.
So
the other day.
He actually, I forget if he was wheelchair bound or if he was using like a cane.
It's a shame.
But it's crazy because he's like, hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make this complicated.
No, it's okay. You're making tea. Okay, yeah, he's missing a leg.
Oh, what's his name? I want to pull him up here. You literally have him in front of you. How do you not have a name?
Steve Grimmett.
Grimmett?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, I'm gonna send you this.
Okay.
What are you doing? Not you. You're doing great.
Got a cane. He's got his fake leg. All right, yeah, he's ready to rock.
But impressively, he kind of is ready to rock.
Oh, he is actually. He sounds great. How old is he here? Because he looks like late 50s.
62. He died in 2022 at 62. So this was only a couple years before that.
But he was like 59 or so in this video.
Yeah.
I don't know when his... Damn, yeah, he sounds really good in this.
Like, I would have loved to have seen Grim Reaper right up until the fucking end, man.
Man, yeah, he... That's awesome. Dude sounds great. Anyway. Enough about the band Grim Reaper, who I just randomly discovered. Was that just yesterday or a couple days ago? I don't know when that was. I stumbled upon them thanks to a Reddit thread.
Man, I can't believe it took you so long.
I feel like this is one of the ones I probably did stumble upon them at some point.
I feel like I've talked to you about them before, but you
Yeah,
didn't like...
but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't commit them to memory. They didn't strike me in the right way. And in all fairness, in a year, I still might not remember them. I don't know if I'm going to keep going back and listening to them right now. So, we'll see. Like, in a year, if I'm still thinking about the band Grim Reaper. But I don't know if I will. But I was enjoying my time listening to them the other
But
day.
they're fun. They're a fun band.
Yeah, I see that.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeff, and welcome to the Sound Judgment Podcast.
Where every episode, we'll be discussing all of the important musical topics, from reviews to which member of Motley Crue is the most vile.
I'm going to judge the officials. I'm going to judge all the judges. It's going to take you people years to recover from all my opinions. Chris, speaking of fun bands...
Are we ready to talk about who could outdrink one or the other? Steve Harwell or that other guy who died?
Harwell.
Jimmy Buffett.
Oh my god, you want to try that joke again? No, we're not talking about Steve Harwell or Jimmy Buffett. I mean, we could.
Two legends lost.
I don't know if I'd call... I do either of them actually qualify as legends?
I mean...
Like, let's be real here.
One has a restaurant named after him, and the other one was in Shrek. So yeah, I would argue, of course.
First off, he wasn't in Shrek. A song that was written for a different movie was used in the Shrek soundtrack. That is one thing that I will never stop being annoyed at. And I realize, like, this is like kind of gatekeepy old man yelling at clouds thing. But like, I hate the fact that the song All Star is so directly associated with Shrek when it was literally written to be in a different movie. Like, it was written and the music video was for Mystery Men.
No.
Which, like, I realize Mystery Men is not nearly as iconic of a movie. Like, people don't care about Mystery Men. It wasn't particularly good. But it just annoys me so much that the song is, like, synonymous with Shrek when it was in a movie before that.
I mean, but then you'd have to remember Mystery Men.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
I like that you don't even really have a comeback for that. It's like, yeah,
I don't.
You're right.
I mean, it's not a good movie. It was only a handful of years ago I watched it last. Like, it's really not an interesting movie. No. Anyway, Chris.
Anyway, Jeff.
I'm not calling either of them legends.
Oh.
One of them was in a band that was really fun at one point and then became a meme. And one of them...
Nobody likes Jimmy Buffett except for frat boys and alcoholic chicks from the South!
Let's face it, how many Jimmy Buffett songs do you actually know? How many Jimmy Buffett songs do most people actually know? Because I think the answer's like maybe 2 or 3. Like, Jimmy Buffett is, without a doubt, more famous for licensing out his name and image and whatnot than he is for his actual music. I'm not saying his music didn't get him famous. Like, he had to start somewhere. But, like, he got where he was because of good business deals outside of music. That's what he did.
You are correct, sir.
I am correct. That's not really, like, if you debate this, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. Like, that's not how this works.
I didn't show up to debate Jimmy Buffett.
I know. Anyway, Chris, what are we actually talking about? What's going on?
This was supposed to be lounge week. I came in pajamas. I didn't come ready to fight.
Chris, I always come ready to fight.
I don't know why you put the gloves on this week.
Chris, I'm ready to fight about everything. I will fight everyone about everything.
Well, you know, Jeff.
In fact, can I fight about something else real quick?
Let's fight.
My current... I'm currently... It's going to be really hard for someone to convince me otherwise. I think that Oliver Anthony guy is an industry plant. That's my current theory here.
Wait. So, like, from last conversation,
yeah,
you were already open to the idea, but something convinced you.
Yeah. Mind you, this is all like stupid bullshit internet rumors, but I want to believe that that's exactly what this is. Like, he's an industry plant, and I am convinced that his, like, controversial lyrics are intentional just to get people mad. It wasn't... I mean, because, again, like, my thought process here was, like, the dude might be kind of an idiot and a little misguided, but, like, you know, we're supposedly being on the political end of the spectrum where, like, you're supposed to be willing to embrace people for their differences and whatever. People sure got out their pitchforks real quick. Instead of thinking, like, maybe we should talk to him, people were just like, nah, fuck this guy, right?
Yeah.
But instead, I'm thinking that was purely intentional, right? Like, this is the age of the internet. Like, people write songs for TikTok, okay? The rest of the song doesn't matter. If you get your 15-second song bite that's going to be popular on TikTok, like, you wrote a good song, apparently. And does your song sound good sped up and added reverb? I don't know. I'm convinced he's an industry plant. Like, he wrote that song with people with money backing him who, pushed that song into the, out into the world of the internet, shared it around places, bots on Reddit or whatever, and forced it to go, like, it's like artificial viral, right?
Yeah.
That's my current hypothesis. Anyway, okay. Chris, what are we actually talking about?
Wait,
I'm just here to fight now.
So wait, sped up for TikTok, does that mean that you're working on the Nightcore remix?
No. Dear God, no. I hate...
Is that the Sound Judgment exclusive? So is the Jeff Russell Nightcore remix of Richmond, north of Richmond?
No. I cannot stand... This is a real old man yells at clouds moment. I cannot stand the whole sped up bullshit. If there was a way on Spotify to block... the fact that they're on Spotify pisses me off. Like, if there was a way to block that, I really would. I cannot stand the sped up bullshit.
Well, speaking of sped up bullshit, what has been more sped up than our upload schedule, Jeff? Once a week for a year.
Damn, dude, that was a really nice transition.
Thank you.
That was awesome. But no, I mean, in all fairness, like, I give you a ton of credit that this goofy little passion project, we officially have hit a year of an upload a week. Now, mind you, that does not mean we recorded a new episode every week. Like, that's not how this works. Like everything, like, we record in batches, right?
Well, and also some of that is re-upload of our first podcast.
Of our original take of this from a few years ago, from 2020.
Yes.
But either way, like...
But content every
is
week for,
cool.
for 52 weeks is impressive, I would say.
Is pretty cool. And I've said this before, but I give you credit for your your editing turnaround.
Yes,
You know, we'll record like on a Wednesday. You'll have the possible final version in Dropbox for me to listen to on Friday, and then it's good to go. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. The upload rate has been impressive, and I'm very excited that we have gotten to do this for the past year. I would love to say that we're, full steam ahead and we're not slowing down, but guess what? We're slowing down.
No, that's not attainable. That's sustainable.
No, absolutely not.
That's not sustainable. Again, because some of them were old uploads and re-uploads. That's not sustainable. We are both adults with full-time jobs and other responsibilities, and other things we need to worry about. So, Now, I'm assuming our recording schedule is only going to slow down moderately. Because, I mean, as is, we only record every other week-ish.
Something like that.
However, it depends, but we'll also frequently record multiple episodes in an evening, and I feel like we might be slowing down on some of that as well. Like, hey, instead of taking 3 hours on a Wednesday night...
Well, the immediate plan is we're going to take a bit of a break, and we're just going to do, I think, 1 episode a month for the next 3 months.
Yeah, finish out the year and just calm the hell down.
Yeah, we're going to do something for October and December, something holiday-themed for Halloween and Christmas, probably, I would assume. And,
I'll say, the thing is, we also have holidays coming up that I think we just should address. Like, in all fairness, I do think our ending of the year should just be addressing the holidays.
Oh, absolutely. Halloween and Christmas are the best holidays, and then because, since Thanksgiving is not a great holiday, we're going to find something fun to do for that, too.
Yeah, exactly. We can do Christmas Part 1 then.
Yeah.
And then Christmas Part 2 can be...
Well, you had an idea, and I'm interested in talking to you about it when we're off of recording. Because I think it's an interesting idea, and I think we could kick some ideas around for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, I'm thinking that probably we'll go into January. We'll probably do a New Year's thing, and then maybe we'll do the idea that I was talking about, which would be another deep dive.
Yeah, I have a few things that I think I would like to get into again. Like, I want to do another deep dive. I think would be really, really great. I also wanted to throw out the idea of I wouldn't mind throwing out suggestions to other people.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I am all sorts of open for just like, hey, let's make this public. Someone throw an album at us. Like, what do you know? What are you listening to? What's new in your world? To get more things that, like, we're not noticing this. I'll look at lists of upcoming album releases, and it's like, I don't know who 80% of these people are. But if someone whose opinion I moderately care about comes out and says, like, no, you gotta listen to this. Like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
This is the year that we come to understand modern rap, Jeff.
You know what? I'm open for it.
2024 is going to be the year.
I'm open for it.
So I'm thinking that after that, we're going to do the Valentine's Day episode that we've talked about for 2 years and not done.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And I think after that, we'll pick up a normal recording schedule. I think we'll probably do something like 2 episodes a month, and we'll see where we're at with that.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. I personally wouldn't mind if we did more... I mean, because I know, like, obviously the main, like, the priority here is catching new music as it's coming out, or not long after it comes out when possible. Trying to be timely, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing, so, like, on top of deep dives, I wouldn't mind doing more theme-type things again, which we have kind of done before. like one that's just been floating in my head for a few days now, and I'm not saying this is like necessarily an episode, but this is the kind of thing I'm referring to, is I've been on a weird kick of bands who do the whole Beauty and the Beast vocalist setup, right? We have like,
Oh.
so like, I feel like doing an episode talking about bands that do the, again, it's called the Beauty and the Beast setup, right? Where you have like a clean, sometimes operatic female vocalist and then a male vocalist who does like growls or scream style vocals. And I've been like, I'm actually working on making a playlist of just like any band I can find that follows that kind of style. I wouldn't mind doing that kind of thing.
Well, don't forget to add the Megadeth re-recording of A Tout Le Monde with Christina Scabia.
I feel like that doesn't qualify as Beauty and the Beast. I feel like that's just Beast and the female Beast.
Because Dave Mustaine is also beautiful. I understand.
That's yeah.
Christina Scabia has a good voice. What are you talking about?
Maybe she's not who I'm thinking of. Who is she?
Are you thinking of Angela Gossow from...
I am. Never mind. Christina Scabia is that the Lacuna Coil?
Yeah, Lacuna Coil.
Oh, I'll say, is that Lacuna Coil? Never mind. No, you're right. I was thinking of What's-Her-Face.
Angela Gossow?
Who we didn't watch. Yeah, that one. That one time that not one time. One of the times we went to a show and then watched the opener and left. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Oh, no, that's, Angela Gossow's Arch Enemy. We never saw her. You're thinking of, you're thinking of OTEP.
Yeah, I don't know what her name is.
I think her name is OTEP.
What?
I think, hold on. Yeah,
there's no way.
OTEP is a heavy metal band formed by frontwoman OTEP Shemaya.
Oh, that's literally her name?
Yeah.
Hold the hell on, are you serious?
Yes! I don't know what you want from me.
I had no idea. Wow, holy shit, today I learned. I genuinely had no idea that was literally her name.
You're welcome.
Okay, suddenly I think her name is really damn cool. I don't like her music, but
her name is
cool.
You don't have to like her personality either, because apparently she is not nice to opening acts.
Oh, that's actually a shame. I want to like her as a person, just because like
it was too long ago. It was too long ago, and you'd have to like probably look it up and confirm it, but something along the lines of like she wouldn't let the opening acts sell T-shirts like within a certain vicinity of her merch booth or some stupid shit like that.
Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, I mean, I'm hoping there's more to that story than it sounds like, but okay, it is what it is. Either way, no, you're right. I was not thinking of here. I was thinking of the wrong person here. So no, I will have to listen to. I'm sorry. What song did Christina Scabia and Dave Mustaine do?
It's A Tout Le Monde, but it's the re-recorded version from
okay.
United Abominations.
I actually might do listen to that, because admittedly, that's a really cool song.
Yeah. How did you enjoy Endgame?
I'm assuming you don't mean the movie.
Well, either one.
Because the movie was quite a few years ago, and it was fine. I am assuming, however, you are referring to the Megadeth album that you had me listen to, just because I really don't like Megadeth, and you were like, I don't know, man, maybe you should try this one.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I expect from Megadeth.
No, not into it.
I think musically it's pretty cool, but as far as metal genres go, the whole like the thrashy thing just is not really up my alley as much, and I find his voice completely unbearable.
That's a shame.
There's some really great guitar work on it, but there's also some really, really dumb lyrics on it, and it's just exactly what I expect from Megadeth. It did nothing more for me than anything else of theirs I've ever listened to did.
Well, that's a shame.
Which all kind of falls in the same category of, like, it's fine, and Dave Mustaine's voice is offensive. Bless you.
Jeff, what'd you think of Agalloch? We're playing What Did You Listen To This Week by surprise.
I haven't listened to Agalloch yet.
That's a shame.
Even though they are on my albums to listen to playlist.
All right, Jeff. So what did you listen to? I think we're kind of done with the topic.
That's totally fine. I mean we're playing a little catch up here. We're just like, hey, here's the deal. Okay, so as you kind of already know, the other day I was going through a a weird binge of, I want to say like classic sounding metal bands. That was at least like what I was looking for, was bands that are more similar to
like Judas Priest and
the
Black
you know,
Sabbath.
the first few Black Sabbath albums, or the first handful of Judas Priest albums. I'm looking for like metal as it was in the 70s, basically, right?
Yeah.
But I'm looking for more recent bands, like 90s or later. I got a handful of interesting recommendations, and as much as I enjoyed a handful of them, I don't know if they're going to warrant me going back and visiting, because there's just none of them quite scratch the itch. So like, for example, I listened to the album Grand Magus by the band Grand Magus, which was cool. I think the guy has a great voice. They're very early Sabbath-esque. It's lacking in the guitar solo department. The riffs are there, but it's not covering what I'm looking for. That being said, I only listened to one album, so I am going to continue my quest with them. They have made it through round 1 of the tournament, and I'm moving on, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna continue with them. I listened to an album called Capricorn by a band called Orchid, who were also fairly interesting, really cool. I might come back and give them another shot. At least on Spotify, they have, I think, only 2 albums. I don't actually know if there's more of them or not. They're fine. Lyrically, they were kind of leaving me like, this isn't up the alley that I wanted it to be. But it was fine. That's also how I ended up with Grim Reaper, who we had already talked about tonight.
Well, Grim Reaper, that's kind of weird, though, because Grim Reaper is from the 80s.
Well, yeah, but they were at least a new band to me.
Right.
I had no idea when they were actually from, because all I listened to was the best of Grim Reaper, so I have no concept of when this is from. I just know it was fun. But again, am I gonna come back to it? I don't know. I listened to Scorpion Child.
Okay.
They have an album, self-titled album, which again, I know I had heard of these guys quite a long while ago. I stumbled upon them in the same kind of search, like, who are some good modern, like, metal and rock bands, right? I feel like I need to give them more time too. I'm gonna keep listening to them. They're not what I'm looking for, but they're very good. They're a little more modern sounding. They don't quite capture the 70s sound that I'm looking for. Not in, like, production, but in, like, songwriting.
Okay.
They have a little more of a thrash influence in them, which isn't quite what I'm into.
Do you want me to recommend some cheesy garbage, Jeff? Do you want some
I will
cheesy
always
garbage?
take some cheesy garbage.
Just look up Chained Up in Chains.
What?
The song is called Chained Up in Chains. You'll find it immediately. It's by a band called Cauldron.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that up just so I don't forget about it. And you said this is like more cheesy stupidity here?
You can give it a minute if you want.
Oh, okay, sure. Let's see what happens.
Chained up in chains under the moonlight. I'm trying hard to make it alright. She'll never make it. I'm here all night. No other blinded by her sight. You cross me.
Alright, we're already breaking into a little, no, I don't want to say thrashier, a little more than I was expecting.
I think it's pretty
very,
priesty.
very cool though. This is cool though. I like this so far.
The chorus is stupid and corny, but I love it.
Oh my god, this guy has the most cliche voice for this kind of music imaginable.
It's perfect, isn't it?
Like, he has that voice that, like, he probably for years went home at night and was just like, my voice is too pretty for this. And he just eventually had to embrace it. Is this the chorus? How can you do this to me?
No, chained up in chains under the moonlight.
Oh my god. Alright, I mean, that's kind of fun though. I'm gonna leave that open.
So me and your brother found that the best way possible through Spotify Shuffle.
I love Spotify. Their stupidity, their stupid algorithms crack me up, man.
We didn't have the context of having the song name on the screen when we heard it, and we were just like, did that motherfucker just say chained up in chains?
Yeah, he sure is.
What else would you chain someone up in?
That's a valid point that I'm gonna be honest with you. I I didn't even think about it until right now when you mentioned it, and I feel real dumb.
What else on
Woof.
earth would you chain a motherfucker up with? Can't chain him up with rope. That's tying. Now
Yeah,
that we've-
alright, you're not wrong.
Now that we've given Jeff his headache for the week.
Yeah, geez, it didn't take you long. 30 minutes into talking to you, and I'm ready to be done.
You're ready to leave. Well, luckily we're keeping it nice and short this week.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I'll tell you what. I'm still trying to understand rap, Jeff.
Why? What have you been listening to?
So I finally checked out MF Doom.
Okay.
I've liked what I've heard, but I haven't listened to enough to come up with a consensus.
That's kind of exactly where I fit with him.
I've listened to some Del the Funky Homo Sapien more than I have before. What?
I want to say, does my brother like him? I feel like that's where I've heard that name before.
Okay, so I had your brother listen to one album, and we've kind of like dug it, but I'm trying to check out other albums now. He's the guy who does the rap part of Clint Eastwood.
That's what. Okay, so yeah, it probably is my brother where I learned it because my brother is a really big Gorillaz fan, so that makes sense.
And also, he's Ice Cube's cousin.
Weird.
I guess if relatives are weird, I think they are.
Not that relatives are weird. I'm saying it's weird that like I don't know. There's something about that bothers me when you have like, oh yeah, this famous person in this field, well their cousin does the exact same thing. Like, isn't the dude from Power Man 5000, isn't that like Rob Zombie's cousin or something?
It's Rob Zombie's brother.
Oh my god, it's even worse than I thought. That's right. What the hell's their actual name anyway? Because I know he goes by like Spider or something or other, right?
Yeah.
Spider Michael Cummings, apparently.
Yeah.
And he is Rob Zombie's younger brother.
Yep.
Weird.
Yeah.
Whose name is Robert Bartlett Cummings. Seriously?
Do you
That's
think-
Rob Zombie's name is Robert Bartlett Cummings?
Bartlett.
Alright, well that was really not expected. Okay.
Do you think because of like all of Rob's success, they just like keep a single of like When Worlds Collide, like put on the fridge, like magneted to the fridge, to remind Spider that like he's still a valid part of this family?
That he's still important. Oh, I feel so bad for him now. I don't know. For all I know, he's actually like a huge asshole, and I shouldn't feel bad for him. But like, when you put it like that, I remember I at one point in time I wanted to like Power Man 5000 more, just because I wanted to like root for the underdog kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't really stick. But I tried, man. There was that point in time where I really wanted like to be a Power Man 5000 fan.
They have one
Just
okay
so I
album, don't they?
Just so I can tell people. Yeah, they have one album, Tonight the Stars Revolt. Like
Okay.
it's the album that anyone should know. If you're gonna know one, it's that one.
Okay.
But like, I wanted to be like a fan, right? Like,
Yeah,
I wanted to be like, listen, I know every song. He's better than Rob Zombie, and it just didn't.
You wanted to be the hipster. You wanted to be
Yeah.
the hipster in this situation, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's just not called for.
No, it's I tried, and this would have been probably like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
And he only had there was only like a handful of albums. I own them. They're all somewhere. I own his first, I don't know, 4 or 5 albums.
I was gonna
whatever
say,
the
I'm
hell.
gonna assume that you haven't bought the Noble Rot 2020.
No, I haven't bought an album probably since then. So, let's see. I might have Destroy What You Enjoy from 2006 because I forget exactly what year I did this.
Okay.
I either stopped at Destroy What You Enjoy or I stopped before that at Transform. I genuinely can't remember. Although I will say I do not recognize this album cover of Destroy What You Enjoy. So I think I did this beforehand. I don't think I know this one. Yeah, I definitely don't know this album. So
Well, now you can get caught up.
I'm not going to. That's not. Can that be our deep dive?
The
No, please no. I'm kidding. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
You know, I don't think it can be because I think the idea of the deep dive is that neither of us should have like extensive knowledge beforehand, and I think you knowing the first 5 albums would count as that. I want to look at someone who, like, we both know a couple songs by.
I mean, I'm kidding. I do not want to do a deep dive of Power Man.
No, I don't either, but I'm just setting a ground rule. Like, I'm kind of doing that with KRS-One right now. I'm trying to enjoy the music he made before he made the 9/11 statement.
I'm sorry. What? I have no clue what you're talking about. You're what?
Do you know KRS-One? Whoop,
The
whoop,
name
that's the
is
sound
only
of the
vaguely
police.
familiar.
Whoop, whoop,
Okay,
that's the sound of the
I-
police. So, like...
I literally only know that line because of you. So
Okay.
no, I do not know who this is.
So that silly line aside, I actually think he's, like, kind of a cool rapper.
Okay.
But also, in 2001, he made, like, a kind of, questionable statement about, you know, when 9/11 happened, we cheered because it was happening to them and not us. And that just makes me, like, uncomfortable.
That's a weird thing to say, man.
Yeah.
That's a really weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Why would you... Okay.
It's a little much. But anyways, the 4 albums before he said that, I'm kind of like, I know songs from it I kind of enjoy. And I don't know anything after he said that, and I wonder if there's a good reason. I wonder if maybe he got dropped by a label or something.
I don't know. Weird. Very, very strange. Oh god, I just looked him up though, and he has a ton of albums.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of work, and he's prolific, and he's one of those people who has like a lot of respect in the underground, and you know, people reference him all the time.
Yeah.
I only know a couple of songs. I'm trying to change that, but I am only listening up until the April 2001 album right now. We'll see what happens after that.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck. Interesting. That's an interesting little thing. But yeah, okay. So when we do an actual deep dive, it obviously does need to be someone that like neither of us are overly familiar with. It
Yeah.
really needs to be like like how we went into ICP with like I don't know. I don't really know what we're getting into. I know
Yeah.
a few songs. I know who they are, but like, let's go.
That's what I'm looking for when we do this.
Out of curiosity, do you have anyone in mind for that?
No, that's the problem, is that I haven't really any good ideas off the bat.
I feel like it should also be someone of some notoriety.
Oh,
too,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
this-
I mean, we
we're-
could
we're
pick
not
any
picking-
obscure artist, but that's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, we're not picking someone on Spotify with 4,000 listeners. Like, it should be someone who's like, for some reason we haven't listened to this person
Right.
before.
I specifically want something that I feel like I should know more about, and I just don't, and I only know 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah.
And I want to pick and I want to pick like a time. Like, we're not gonna necessarily, maybe we will, maybe we won't, depending on how many albums they have. But I don't want to necessarily sit down with a discography. Kind of like with what we did with ICP, where we're like, this is about where we're listening to, like, first 6 albums or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if it's someone who's been around for 30 years and has 16 albums, we're not... I don't have that kind of time, necessarily.
Someone who's, you know, who has some notability and that we just don't think we know enough about.
Yeah, which, I mean, exists. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
We don't
It's-
have anything
it's-
on the top of our head, but I'm sure
it's very-
once we start brainstorming, we'll come up with a bunch of ideas. Just a quick editor's note. This is a message to me in the past from me in the future. You realize like 20 minutes ago you were making jokes about how no one knows more than 2 Jimmy Buffett songs, and now you can't think of one prolific artist that you don't know enough about? Not that I want to do a deep dive on Jimmy Buffett, but maybe that's an option.
It's very frequently where I have this weird thought of just like, oh, you know what, like, I know who that is, but how much of them have I ever actually listened to?
Right.
Like, it wasn't that long ago that I did a personal deep dive into Night Rain.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a no-name band. They had hits. And I, off the top of my head, was able to tell you the title of one song, right?
Yeah.
I did that again with Winger not too long ago. I did a little Winger deep dive because despite, you know, the song 17 being creepy, there are people in the hair metal community who like swear like, no, he's really good. You need to listen to Winger.
Is he?
I mean, he's incredibly talented. But, like, it just didn't really click with me for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
It's honestly not even him. I think it's just, like, stylistically, it's not...
Not what you're
It's
looking
not
for.
what I want out of hair metal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be something like that. Like, someone who has someone who has a fan base, someone who exists that people care about.
I did it earlier this year with Bad Brains.
Oh yeah, you did. Okay, very true.
So there you go. I kind of started doing it with Fugazi too, but I got to get back into that.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You were on a Fugazi kick for a little bit.
Well, it wasn't so much a kick, but I listened to instrument soundtrack or whatever.
I mean, in all fairness, I've been doing it with Judas Priest over the past 2 weeks.
Exactly, but we just need to get on the same page with one.
Well, yeah, because also, like, Judas Priest really well, and I really, I don't, which is really weird. I genuinely don't know why I never spent the time with them that I think they deserve.
So, have you listened to every album at least once yet?
I have listened to everything at least once, yes.
Cool. Which one do you think you walked away from as your favorite?
As a general rule, I like them mid-80s. Like, I
Early
think
80s.
they were best up to, like, I want to say Defenders of the Faith, I guess, is probably the last one that I'm just like, yes, this is what I want. Like, this is what I'm into. Not that they're bad afterwards, but I feel like that's kind of where I started to trail off a little more.
Did you skip Jugulator?
I did. I did because it's not on Spotify, and I have not. I haven't gotten into those years.
I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion here, Jeff, is that you can continue to sleep on Demolition, but I think Jugulator deserves a spin.
Okay, well, Demolition I did listen to. Like, it's actually on Spotify.
Well, you can continue ignoring it. You don't really need it.
Okay.
Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, Demolition did nothing for me.
Exactly.
Which I think is a huge shame because, I mean, that was another, Tim Owens album. And he is so damn good.
Tim Owens is a good singer who has an unfortunate track record with joining bands. That's the whole sentence. That's the whole sentence.
You were explaining that to me, that he has a weird history of being in new bands constantly. Oh my god, I just pulled up his Wikipedia page.
He was the replacement for Rob Halford. He was a replacement in Iced Earth, so he got off the bat. He was like a replacement singer. And then one of his next project was joining former members of Iced Earth to start a new band called Charred Walls of the Damned. So he was kind of considered like a replacement singer in that, too, when you think about it.
He is in KK's Priest, though, which is, KK Downing of Judas Priest, which I think they're pretty fun. But it definitely shows me that KK is not the composer in the band Judas Priest.
Right.
Like, the song structures are really straightforward. There's not a whole lot of musical surprises. Like, that kind of showed me that I think it's Glenn Tipton who, like, he's the composer. You know what I mean? He's the one who was really writing things, I think.
Yeah.
And from interviews and whatever, that's kind of what people seem to say, is that, like, Glenn Tipton's the one who's really writing the music, so to speak. Obviously, it's a full band. I don't think anyone's, like, slacking off here, but...
From my understanding, that Glenn and Ian do most of the composing and Halford writes most of the lyrics.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
But, Winter's Bane, Jeff, Heart of a Killer. Check that one out.
Okay.
That's Tim Owens' band before he got picked up by Priest. They put out one album.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, I mean, so Judas Priest, I think, is it's really cool seeing a band who's been around for that long and has just evolved the whole time.
Yo,
right?
I'll tell you what. I'm not that into that album with Dragonaut, Redeemer of Souls, but Firepower was a fucking killer album.
So Firepower is one of the more recent ones that I listened to when it came out in, what was that, 2018, 2019?
Yeah.
2018. Oh, in fact, it came out, like, right around my birthday that year. Don't remember that. Anyway, like, I remember we listened to Firepower back then, and I remember thinking, like, this is pretty cool. Like, these guys sound great for their age.
Yeah.
But it's not an album that I remembered. Like, going back and listening to it again recently, it felt pretty new all of a sudden.
Understandable.
And then I owned Angel of Retribution back when it was new as well. I don't know why, to be completely honest with you. Like, I wasn't a big Judas Priest fan. At the time, I probably only owned one album, which was Stained Class. For some reason, I saw they were releasing a new album, and I bought Angel of Retribution, which I really like the song Angel on. And the opener, Judas Rising, I think is a really great opener. But otherwise, I think the album Angel of Retribution is totally forgettable.
Oh, I like that album.
So is Nostradamus.
I kind of like that one too, but
It's fun, but again,
I am aware I'm in the minority in that one.
Oh, is that not a popular opinion?
I don't think a lot of people received like the long concept symphonic metal type thing very well, which is weird because I kind of associate Judas Priest with that kind of scene, but I guess they've never really worked with synths before this album, aside from like Turbo and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay, and here I'm seeing their ratings: 59 out of 100, 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 2 out of 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been a really, really fun deep dive for me.
Yeah.
Again, because they've been around so long, they've changed their style so much. Like, it really felt like it just kept being something completely new. Going from...
over 4 decades of music.
Yeah, going from Stained Class to British Steel was a really cool change. And then Turbo was absolutely not what I thought it was going to be. I never knew that Judas Priest had a hair metal phase.
Yeah.
But they sure did.
And then you get to hear their cover of Johnny Be Good on Ram It Down.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
that's really not a good cover, actually.
Not a good move.
And then, I know
That
the song
opener's
Painkiller.
cool.
I know the song Painkiller, but I don't think I ever listened to the whole album until just within the past week. And, that's, I think, when they really start going downhill for me, just because stylistically that's just not my cup of tea. Like, that's
Right.
not what I want to listen to.
Yeah.
But no, it's been very, very cool. I have been going back even more so and listening to a lot of this still. But I do kind of stop it at a certain point. I also love their album covers. Like, every single one of them is fun in just the goofiest ways.
Yeah.
Their album covers are so good. Except for, I think, Stained Class, I think, is kind of boring, honestly, with just the... I don't know what it's supposed to be. He looks like the T-1000 or whatever, the Molten One.
Do you like when the album covers are callbacks, Jeff?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Look at Firepower and then look at Screaming for Vengeance.
Oh! Oh no shit, they're like on the way to fight each other. Oh shit, that's so cool!
Yeah.
I did not catch that.
Did you ever notice that the angel on the cover of Angel of Retribution is the Painkiller? Look at him riding the bike and then go back to the cover of Angel of Retribution.
Oh, holy shit. Hold on. Oh shit, that's so cool! I did not know that. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. Their album artwork is so fun.
I love that. Now, Jeff, and then you open up Turbo. This is not my... no, I'm sorry. Not Turbo, but yes, that one's suggestive too. You open up Point of Entry, and you wonder if it's just a dick.
It absolutely is. It's the same one that's being grabbed in Turbo.
And
I'm assuming it's in the... It's not seen, but I'm assuming it is in the hand on Ram It Down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming these three are a trilogy here.
It's a trilogy, the Dick trilogy.
They're not necessarily in order here, right? Like, you have Point of Entry where you see it.
Yeah.
In Turbo, it's being gripped, and in Ram It Down, it's being
rammed down.
It's being rammed down. But obviously, the real winner here is Defenders of the Faith, which with their I don't know, what is he
with
like?
with the Robo
with
Tiger.
He's like the commie Voltron. Like, I don't know what's going on here. He's if Voltron were a tank, and I love it so much.
I think that's supposed to be the Sentinel. I think that was during a time when all of their little monsters on the cover were songs.
Oh, okay. I don't know. He's tanky Voltron. That's what.
Yeah,
he is.
I think for a little while they were making their own Judas Priest lore. You had the Screaming for Vengeance critter. You had the Defenders of the Faith guy. You had the Painkiller.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
You have whatever's on Jugulator, which I'm just looking at now.
You have the Jugulator.
I recognize this album as being really bad. Is this the one? No. Is this the one? Let me see if I remember this. Is this the one where there was actually originally more to the artwork, and for some reason they just cropped it in on this guy's face?
Yeah, please
Is that a thing?
look up the entire Jugulator album cover art because it's actually pretty cool.
I thought that was a thing. I remember this conversation from years ago. Oh, look at that. There's so much more to this picture. Why did they zoom in on his blurry face?
I love the fact that when the zoom that they chose like is pixelated and just looks like shit.
Like it's so bad. It's like they did it in MS Paint.
Yeah.
What year is this from? Oh my god, 97. They probably did do it in MS Paint. What a shame. That's actually a really cool artwork.
Yeah. I think that one might be a little too thrashy for you, but I think it is a cool album that's worth a listen.
I've wanted to, but I haven't yet, almost entirely just because it's not on Spotify, so.
Well, I'll send you a YouTube full album stream later.
I know it's on there, I just haven't bothered looking.
Well, Jeff, I think we're ready to wrap up what have you been listening to lately, but before we go, let's play another quick game.
Okay.
To commemorate what?
Oh, I was gonna say, are we giving a score to Sound Judgment Podcast?
Jeff, what's your score for Sound Judgment Podcast?
Because if you didn't say it, I was gonna sign off with it.
Well, I did actually want to ask you what some of your favorite like episodes or bits have been, since you do listen back to all of these before they go up.
I have listened to every episode at least once.
So give me a couple of your favorites. From you can choose from a pool of both seasons.
See, I actually was going to say I am going to ignore the original run, the first season.
Okay.
Other than I do want to throw out how much I enjoy the little I don't know, it's like maybe 10-minute long episode where we talk about anime waifus and Animal Crossing music.
Well, we're going to come back. We're going to do Anime Waifus 2024.
Okay, I will say that I do enjoy that stupid little bit. I know it's not really like an episode, it was just like a dumb little thing, but I will say I enjoyed that.
The bit that I missed from season 1 that I hope to, fit back into the show someday is Tower of Power or Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was a great little game. I do want to get back into more games, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
The problem is they require significantly more prep.
Well, and that's part of my hope. That is part of my hope. So when I saw that we could go from, like I saw in July that we could, just do like 8 more episodes and do an upload a week for a year. And I was like, that's a great goal to hit. And I plan to slow down even before any personal life shit came up at that point. I was like, let's hit a year and then we'll slow down. And I'm hoping that with the slowdown, it will make the episodes that do go up more creative and more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But I appreciated the goal that you set for us of one episode of a week. As for like actual favorite episodes, I am not gonna lie. I think What Is Sleep Token was a really fun one to do, and it was one that I enjoyed listening to again.
Okay.
Just because I think that was, it was kind of a deep dive, at least for me. But I think it just also made for just like a fairly interesting episode. But I also, God, as much as I hated doing it, I liked Bocchi the Rock.
The episode.
Yeah. Like, as much as I hated dragging myself to sit through 12 episodes of an anime, I think it made for a fun episode.
Well, I'll tell you what. When season 2 comes out, I'll let you know. We'll skip the movie. You don't need a recap movie. Actually, you might.
Oh dear God,
that.
No. Actually, I might.
Actually,
nice.
Well, if you had experienced that instead of the series, you might prefer that.
That's very true.
I'm reading ahead in the manga a little, and if they line up the way that they are in the series, like a season 3 or something might be interesting, because they are kind of getting past some of the things that I think you don't like.
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, things change as you write more.
Yeah. Now, I don't necessarily want to become an anime review podcast.
No. Absolutely not. But
it might be fun to finish what we started, honestly.
Or even just if things come up in other mediums that still involve music. then maybe we'll
Yeah.
consider it. Had we been doing a podcast when the Cats movie came out? God
We
forbid.
100%, yeah. Absolutely. We would have needed to talk about it.
Absolutely. That
Chris,
kind
what
of
have
thing.
what have been your favorite moments of the Sound Judgment podcast so far?
I'm going to agree with you on Bocchi the Rock, that episode.
Okay.
I also like the, if I could toot my own horn a little, I like both of the arts that I did for both of those episodes.
I think your thumbnail artwork is frequently enjoyably stupid.
I'm going to agree with you that I think the Sleep Token episode made for good content.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a good episode, I think.
I also kind of think that the Billy Corgan episode made for good content.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, now that you say that, I agree. That's probably in my top section there too.
You know what? I think it was a combination. This one was a combination of fun to do and good content. Well, maybe not the best content, but I think we made it entertaining by getting angry and yelling. Was bad internet quizzes.
I know that one was fun to do. That one was for me. I don't care if it made for a good episode or not. I had fun doing it.
I think it could have been uninteresting, but I think we made it interesting by finding the worst quizzes, like the actual worst quizzes.
I figured it was gonna take some editing on your part, but I thought there was potential there. But I remember I also didn't want to spoil it by looking at them ahead of time, which showed as we were doing them.
No, it was fucking phenomenal when I'm like, Jeff, this is the same quiz.
This is the same. There were literally copy-pasted questions, which just was so fun. Chris, what do you... Give it a score. Give the Sound Judgment podcast a score. If you were rating this on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts...
Oh, yeah, because
I'm
the picky one of the two of us. I'm the one who set up podcast rules at one point.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I obviously you can literally always do better in production. I think production aside, we've made pretty good content. I would say I'm going to give us a 7.
7 out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I would say that we are at least on par with most of the independent podcasts that are out there. And I'm going to be honest, I've heard some fucking, like, well-produced podcasts that are just fucking awful.
Yeah, this is true.
Awful.
But at the same time, like, I don't want to compare us to, like, some of the big podcasts that I do listen to, because, like, man, I listen to some that are just like, oh my god, this is one person, how do you do this? This is so good.
I agree. But also sometimes I listen to a podcast with, I don't want to point any fingers specifically, but, you know, oodles and oodles of listeners, and I'm listening to it for the content, right, which is maybe some sort of true crime thing. I'm not talking about last podcast. I will throw that one out there because I know that's the true crime podcast you think of me for listening to. I was trying to listen to another one for research purposes, and 30 minutes in, they had not gotten to the topic yet.
Oh, yeah. Now,
and this is a well-trodden podcast.
I feel like the thing is, my favorite podcasts I listen to, like, personally, I listen to them because I like the people. Like, one of my favorite podcasts, and I've referenced them before, is called The Collector's Quest. It is primarily two guys, it's Johnny and Tyler, and they are pretty intense, like, video game collectors, among other things. I mean, now, mind you, I realize that, like, my video game collection is impressive to a lot of people, but it is nothing compared to people who actually make a point of collecting. I just have 30-some years of stuff. And I also love to buy old things which look nice on a shelf. I have like 70-some Atari 2600 games. It takes up a lot of shelf space, but like they were all $2 or $3 a piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I love the show for them. I don't care what they talk about. I subscribe to them on Patreon so I can get their what's called the After Dark episodes, which is just like them rambling. It could be 2 hours of them browsing eBay listings. I listen to it because I like them. I think they're fun.
And I'm completely on board with that, but I think when you have a topic that is something so specific that, you know, someone might be tuning in for the first time to
Yes.
listen to, maybe
Yes.
you put the topic first and your 30-minute conversation about band shirts at the end. Or
Yes,
something.
that's what I was just gonna get to.
Or maybe you put an editing note at the beginning that says, we have a slow start to this one. If you're just here for the content, you know, skip ahead to 32 minutes and 45 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. I really do think, at least, like, you really should, if you are a topical podcast, you really should, like, you know, get to the point. I'm all for the first, you know, bit being just like chit-chatty catching up because you're people
Absolutely,
who know each other. But, like, you need to get to the topic, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm like completely agreeing with you. I love podcasts just because I like the people, but I feel like if you're trying to talk about such a specific topic, you really should just, at some point, someone needs to put their foot down and say, hey, we're off track. What are we talking about? Chris, I'm gonna say, okay, so, you know, so being a longtime fan of the Sound Judgment podcast.
Subscribe
I think,
to us on YouTube. Hit that like, subscribe.
I think they're doing a pretty okay job. The one guy's voice is a little annoying, but
I hate
like
that
you know,
guy.
you can't. But
I
like
hate
you can't
that
help
motherfucker.
that. Yeah, but like you can't help that. I mean, some people just have annoying voices. So the one guy's voice isn't great. I think they do get a little sidetracked too often. Maybe sometimes they should just like get to their point a little better. But, like, you know, it's the whole first album kind of syndrome thing, right? Like, they're working on it. I think there's potential for this to be better. As it stands right now, I'm going to say a 3 out of 5. But I'm thinking they're almost at a 4 by this point.
Ooh, very nice. So that's similar scores. I would say
It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Man, they just got to lose that one guy.
It really should just be a one-man show.
What they should do, I think, is maybe put him on third mic, make it a tech podcast, and bring in a completely new guy for second mic.
In other words, what you're referencing to is a friend of ours the other night, where there's a bunch of us out to dinner the other night, and a friend of ours brings up the idea of not really like necessarily a tech from the standpoint of like know-it-all, but a tech in just the standpoint of just like, you know, being people in their 30s who have watched technology grow, talking about things that are different now in our lives versus things that, you know, as we grew up, like technology-wise. And he is a much more tech-savvy person, and he has shown interest in doing a podcast of that sort. Just saying, I would do it.
Oh, I'd be absolutely interested. Episode 1, was dial-up better, or did our backs just not hurt then?
That's a beautiful title, but thank you. No, so I do think Sound Judgment would be better off if we're just a one-person project. You know what I mean? Like, all right,
Yeah.
like I get it, you two, like you're buddies, but like just because you're buddies doesn't mean you need to give the other guy a hand, okay?
All right. So when you leaving?
Chris, are we done?
I'm done.
Christopher? Oh God, you already left. You're gone.